The man was practicing push-ups at the well. He thought it was easy. However, his master took out 2 eggs and placed them under his palms. Soon, he couldn't hold on and crushed the eggs. That night, the master made him a plate of scrambled eggs. The next day, the master brought a stone and placed it on his back. The eggs were crushed again, and the man had another plate of scrambled eggs. After a few days of practice, the man could do push-ups with a stone on his back. But then the master had him practice with 3 fingers, then 2 fingers, and finally just 1 finger. After 2 months of practice, the man was sick of scrambled eggs, but he could do push-ups with a stone on his back using just 1 finger. He didn't have to eat scrambled eggs anymore. The next day, the master had the man practice with a wooden dummy. When he attacked the dummy on the left, the one on the right would attack him. When he attacked the one on the right, the one on the left would attack him. He kept practicing until his body became tough. Then the master had him practice arm strength. The man squatted halfway and straightened his arms, lifting a barbell with his arm strength. He let the barbell slide from his arms to his fingertips and then threw it at a big tree, catching it with his arms again. Next, the master put a rubber band around the man's wrists, and he was pulled back. So the man wrapped the rubber band around his arms, struggled forward, and picked up a stone mill. He swung the stone mill and smashed it into the tree. But the master was still not satisfied. He added rubber bands around the man's waist and feet, and the man still managed to pick up the stone mill. However, when the master put a rubber band around his neck, he was pulled back just as he was about to succeed. But he kept struggling forward and finally picked up the stone mill and even broke the tree. At the same time, the man's junior brother was practicing boxing. He had to stand steadily on a wooden stake in the flower bed. If he fell, he had to help the master plant flowers with his bare hands. The stakes got higher and higher, and the flower bed got bigger and bigger. The master used a stick to disturb him until he could stand steadily even with the disturbance. Then the master had him practice his steps in the flower bed. If he accidentally stepped on a flower, he had to dig up the soil and plant it again. After that, he practiced boxing with the wooden dummy. The next day, the master locked him in a pavilion and had him break the wooden boards with his arms. However, the boards were too thick, and his hands got hurt. Fortunately, after continuous practice, he finally broke through the boards.